Hello. So I took my digital papers and I gel printed on top of them. And look at what happened. Some of these are really outstanding. Some of them not so much. But look at leaves from the trees outside, stuff like that. A little bit of botanicals. So if you'd like to watch me do that, it was a journey. It didn't start out so pretty. It ended up pretty. That's what we're going to do. So I look forward to seeing you over here at the paint table. Bye. I have not gel printed for a very long time because I've been so busy with digital papers and collage. But what I have out today is my 8x10 gel plate with a coat of bare acrylic house paint over it to pull up the junk that I left on it. Normally, I really clean my desktop up for you guys, but I did not today. So what I plan on doing, let me show you what I've got. I have a large collection of botanical prints, which when I'm rusty. I haven't gel printed in, I don't know, months. When I am rusty, I pull these out, and honest to goodness, you cannot make ugly art with botanicals. And my botanicals are not fancy. These are literally weeds that I picked out in my yard. Some of these are my favorites, and I use them over and over again. You can tell I save them in envelopes when I really like them. So that's the plan. I'm going to play around with some of these botanicals. And start off on just regular copy paper, and then I will move to, I have a big wad of my digital papers. And they have, this one in particular, just has these really pretty backgrounds that would be fun to print over. So I've got botanicals, and I also have these, which are, these are stencils I made with a glue gun, which I highly encourage you guys to try. I also highly recommend that you buy good glue, because some of the glue that I have worked with dries as hard as a rock. How do I show you an example of this? It dries as hard as a rock, which means that it breaks. Some of it is pretty malleable. This particular one is a combination of easy to break. So the point that I'm trying to make is stop trying to make a point. Just go make art. I'm going to play around with some of these things, see what happens. Let's give this a pull. See if I pull up most. Oh, this is going to be a nice clean print. Pulled up most of the garbage that I left on the plate. Got a nice textural thing, just a small amount there that I don't care about. I don't really care about any of it, but I just decided to clean it up. All right, I am ready to start gel printing. And I have to tell you, I have been standing here picking at my fingernails for the past 10 minutes trying to figure out how to get started. And this is how you get started. You put some paint on the plate and start pulling prints. So I'm going to work with today, I'm going to experiment a little bit. I've got white, bare, Home Depot bare acrylic paint. They make it in acrylic. I have another jar of, where is it? Same thing. I don't know the name of the color, but it's a bare paint from Home Depot. It's acrylic. And I'm almost certain, yeah, I bought it. Look at how I bought it. It's called Coral Cloud. And I bought a flat finish on it. It's a sample, and it was very inexpensive. And I recommend that you give this a try because it's actually kind of fun. Okay, so I've got a bunch of scrap chats from ChatGPT, who, by the way, just so you know, ChatGPT can lead you astray. And I also have a bottle of Payne's Gray, which is a Nova color. So I've got these 3 paint colors. I don't actually know how they play together, but you know what I'd like to find out? First thing I'd like to find out is how these 2 play together. So let me just do a background, a thin background over one of these copy papers and see if what happens to them when they mix together. Let's find out, shall we? You get a pinkish gray. White. It's actually quite a lovely color. Okay. I'm going to just pull that print on here. Actually, let's do something. I've got this stencil. And I'm going to, this is a stencil that I made with a glue gun. Oh, it's very slippery. Very slippery. And it leaves absolutely nothing behind. Let's try it again. Yeah, it leaves nothing behind. So, except for this, I'm going to pull this. Everything about gel printing is an experiment, and I haven't done it. It's been months. It's probably been, I don't even know. It's been months. So I did get a little bit of an impression off of that stencil, but actually, to tell you, this is a color that I don't actually mind. So I'm going to continue on that vein, but maybe, all right, let me just keep going. Let me just keep going and pulling a few prints. What if I put just a scooch of white in there? Let's give it a mix. I'm going to mix this together and see if I can get a color that's fun to look at. That's actually a very fun color to look at. But what I really want, I don't want to pull the print. What I want to do is get an impression. And what I'm learning about these glue stencils is that they are slippery. All right, I'm going to just take this same sheet and go right over it. It still has quite a bit of paint. I might have too much paint to pull this in one print. I do. So I'm going to pull this up on just another junk sheet. I take all my, when I work with ChatGPT, which I did for developing my digital stuff, I save all the chats, I print them, I put them in little books so that I can create a little dialogue of what I've learned and what I can tell you. I don't know how many of you guys have used chat, specifically ChatGPT. It is a misinformation machine. It will tell you what you want to hear, whether your idea is solid or fake. What a good color. Holy moly. I love that. But what I need, yeah, you know what? Let me just keep working with this because I'm not prepared. Holy moly, that's a pretty color. I'm just going to push down a little bit, which will probably pull some of this up and get transferred onto this sheet. Little bits of dots. That is a lovely color to my eye. So what I'm doing right now, with no particular plan, is just making some backgrounds. Look at this color. I freaking love. I love this color. All right, I'm going to keep going because this is fun. Here is an earlier sheet, which is just when I was trying to warm up and got all self-conscious and had to stop. All right, I'm going to take that. Let's see what happens. So I'm giving this just a stir to mix the paint, because otherwise you just get blobs. See how I'm getting blobs? Okay, I'll stick with this because it seems to have done the job. Just trying to press it down, not pull a print. I just want some texture. So it's a summer morning in New Hampshire, and it's actually early. It's 8:30. I got started on this at 7:30, but I got too self-conscious. I couldn't remember how to get started. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I really like these colors I'm pulling. So that bottom layer, you pull the paint off and you get this thickness. The bottom layer leaves you the texture, which is interesting. And I should like to, I'm going to see if I can't, with a tiny little bit of, get a real thin coat of a lighter color and see if I can't put some color on that. The intention, I'm pushing down. This is quite a wet piece of paper. I'm just pushing down just to... Normally, if you want to pull a print, you've got to get in between all of these things. Interesting. Let's take that with this. So one of the things I'm learning about working with paint colors versus digital colors, because I feel like I've got a pretty decent handle on how digital colors work, but I don't have a handle on how paint colors work. See this pretty little thing? I'm going to do that on here. See what happens. Thin coat. And I'm not even gonna fully cover that up. Because I like the raggedy look of a darker color over a lighter color. I don't know if the camera's picking up the shape of these leaves under here. If you're deliberate about it, you can get a really clean print. There you go. I don't really love that peachy pink color with that blue, but I like them mixed together. And perhaps I'll just pull this. This is called a ghost. This one's pretty ghostly. I'll just pull it on this. And it's a combination of pressure, maybe a little bit of heat from your hands too. Okay, so I've got a raggedy looking thing there. And I like the pink and blue mixed together. I mean the coral and blue mixed together, but I don't like it like this. But you can see these pretty little shapes behind there, which is generally the goal. And see, I didn't mix it very well, so I still have blobs. The blobs will come up on the bottom layer because right now I'm putting a clean, lightly. I don't love this, so goodbye. No. I'm going to keep working with this because I haven't taken the time to pull out an alternative stencil. Let's just pull it over this, see what happens. Right. Because this is a glue gun stencil, it's very thick. It will require a great deal of work to get a clean impression, so I'm just loosely pushing down on this thing. That's actually, you go there. Let's pull this on a new sheet. This I like. Okay. I'm going to stop the camera and go find some other stencils. Okay, I quickly pulled out a favorite paper stencil that I bought at Michael's that's slowly falling apart, and a pressed eucalyptus leaf that I originally soaked in glycerin, which made it soft. So usually these dry hard as a rock. This is actually soft. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to play. Okay, that doesn't, I don't like this. So I'm going to do that. And grab it off of this and see what happens. See what I'm doing? Not anything fancy. I'm just going to run this through this squishy. Let's see what happens. Something squishy and slidey. I wonder. Let me try something. Let me try taking this paint, which I can tell there's a lot, and just offloading it on this. Let's see what happens. That, which is uninspired. All right, so what I've discovered is this color without the blue is not for me. I like those grays, but that peachy color, I was inspired to give it a try from Anna Carl because she uses a fair amount of it in her work, but it is definitely her color, not mine. Okay, you got a light color thing there. Let's try. All right, sure. Let's give this a shot. Let's give this a try. Just lay that down there. Now the glycerin, I bought it from Amazon. It's called vegetable glycerin. And if you put glycerin and water and then stick your plant in it, it will absorb the glycerin. The plant will eventually die, but it will remain supple and easy to print with. So you can rearrange things. Pull that. Oh, that leaves a nice impression. What can I put that on? This that can't get uglier. Let's see what we get. I also have, this is a candle holder, which makes a very nice baron. It's clicking because I collect the copper pennies, and it is it is filled with copper pennies. It's one of the things that's fun about gel printing is you just don't even know. It's a crapshoot. This I actually find kind of interesting. I love the brayer off sheets. I think the brayer off sheets are very, very pretty. But I am not a fan of this peach, so this is going away. I want it whiter. Start getting lines in your prints, you're just pushing down too hard. What a great color. Let's pull it off of this because this can't get uglier. Perhaps it can get ugly. I don't love that peach at all. I may abandon ship on that peach. It still only has one color. Transfer that paint. Let's try it with this. See what happens. Not much. I kind of like that. I'm going to pull it on this. I used to strongly prefer ghost prints to first pulls. And sometimes I do. It depends on what I'm trying to accomplish. But I'll tell you, having said what I'm trying to accomplish, the lesson that I have learned from gel printing for a while is that when I try to accomplish something, it's a big giant fail. I don't really seem to have the skills to accomplish anything specific on a gel plate. I'm going to try this. Let me show you what I want to do. Don't throw away your brayer sheets, guys. And now for a word from our sponsor, which is me. I am wearing a dress that I had printed on Redbubble, which you guys can as well. But this is a cute little dress. I don't remember the cost of it, but I will link everything in my commercial. So I want to show you just a couple of things. So this cute ass little dress, which is I think a size medium, and this cute little shirt, which is too short for me because I like to cover my butt. And let me show you what I like to cover my butt with, shall we? So one of the things that Redbubble has that you guys are probably going to love is look at these scarves. These scarves are 55 inches square. Look at this thing, okay? And I wear them around my hips all the time. They're huge. Look at this. Look at the colors. Look at, this one's called Watching You. Look at how much fun that is over just a black dress. Look at, you can't even see me because you don't need to see me. I'm showing you some things. And this scarf is the dress I'm wearing right now, which is so much fun. These are very well priced. I should know the price, but I don't. So Redbubble is a print-on-demand site where you can upload your designs and have them printed on scarves and dresses and t-shirts and duvets and curtains and shower curtains and mugs and I can't even think, stationery, all of the things. I'll link it in the description. And if you are looking for economy gifts, this is not, it's not low quality, it's economy quality. So it's very, very well priced. And there's stuff that women our age, women and men our age would enjoy, but there's also stuff that your grandchildren and your children will enjoy. There's some really fun stuff on that. So Redbubble/Cherie Burlington, I'll link it. Go look at my stuff because it's so much fun. And then open an account for yourself and get your stuff printed on it too. Thanks so much. See ya. Bye. I just took way too much time going through all my stencils to find some generic things because this is what I'm moving on to. I'm warmed up, and now what I want to do is I want to take this pack of papers and pull them all out. People ask how I store my stuff. These are on my Amazon store. These are fantastic because you can see through them and see what's in there. So that's where those are. So I've got this package of papers. It's going to stick to that because it's just been cleaned. And I am going to print, I'm going to gel print over these papers. They're all in a similar color scheme. So I'm going to work almost exclusively with my bare white acrylic paint. Ooh, look at how yummy that is. And see what happens when I cover these up, but maybe not completely. Okay, so that's the plan. So in terms of what I've got for stamps and stencils, this is just a quick tour. This is something I created. Well, you can't see that. You can't see it on anything. There. I used a wood burning tool to create this. Not recommended, took forever. This is a bunch of generic stencils from Amazon. They may be in my store, I cannot be sure. This is a bunch of generic, what I call geometric stamps. This is not generic. This is awesome, but it belongs to another artist. But these are all generic enough to be able to work into my work. I've been trying to avoid other designers' work because I like to sell my work. So for instance, this lovely thing, which looks like this, it's scribbles. I never can remember the artist. I love this, but I can't work it into my work because it's hers. Very generic mandala type things. Something else. From Michaels. And then just some alphabets. I'm just going to make the point. I'm going to start printing this piece of paper. I'm going to cover it with that alphabet. I'm going to use white acrylic paint from Home Depot, Bare Ultra Pure White. I'm not sure if I want to completely cover what's underneath it. So I'm going to go a little bit thinner. And I can see my paint splitting because I cleaned my plate so thoroughly a couple of minutes ago. I'll lay it down right side up so that it prints wrong side. Take this sheet. Now those alphabets are going to cover up parts of this. Don't recommend that, laying your brayer down so it can stick and get a line built into it. Okay, I want more coverage, which means I need thicker paint. But that doesn't mean this piece is done. That just means, look at what I end up with. I end up with this, which I'm going to pull on this. As long as I've been doing this, every single time I make a pull, I'm like, oh, that's a surprise. So that comes out backwards. And so does this. And this is frickin' awesome. Okay. I'm going to keep doing that for just a minute. Not with my printed papers, with those ugly papers that I created earlier. Let's see what happens, shall we? I did not know those alphabets were going to be so interesting looking. This is ugly. It's not ugly. It's the colors that I don't like. I'm just not a big fan of that peach. Okay. Pull that off. And this dark piece, let's see what happens. These cut up are going to be very fun. I like the idea of these chopped up. Not these sheet, not the pull sheet, the secondary sheet. Let's see what I can do if I put more on top of that. because heaven forbid I should wreck a photocopy that I can go over to my printer in one fell swoop and freaking run again. Ooh, so scary. All right. This is a favorite, although it's really falling apart. Let's do that. Let's do, this is going in. It's just a cover sheet. It's the sheet on my downloads that, that's the listing sheet. When you look on my websites, you can see the range. Not all of them, but just the range. Let's see what happens here. Well, something very fun. I could also try, although the accent color in here is black, not blue, be interesting to try Payne's Gray on top of these sheets. This is something that you guys can do if you can disguise these sheets so you can use more of them in your original art that you want to sell. fun. Look at how these dark colors come out. Okay, hey, stop doing that, Sure-E. All right. Let's take this, just this top sheet. This will be interesting. How about if you just switch it up and do a different stencil? Sure-E. Let's do this one. Let's see what happens. Let's try this. I'm going to do this piece with, what I like about this stencil is what it covers is quite large. So you get to see more. And now I'm going to try putting a thicker coat of paint on to see if I get a more coverage. Let's find out. Sometimes it just becomes more slippery. So many layers on this. Okay. So it does cover more, but it also looks more squishy. Not a fan of that. But what I'd like to try next is this. I particularly like this one because it's fairly open. And let's just grab the next, this is the next sheet in the pile. Let's switch things up with this Payne's Gray. Let's see what happens, shall we? Payne's. Okay, let's see what we're going to get. I'm kind of excited about this gel printing on top of these papers because the background is already pretty, which is half of the challenge of gel printing. It's learning how to make a pretty background. So I like the concept of the windows. So that's going to dry until I can figure out plan B. What have I got next? Let's do the same thing with this that I just tried, but with a more raggedy background, like watch. You'll see what I mean. Actually, let's do it like that. That's got paint on it or whatever. It's a gel print, Sure-E. I just want more of this edge. I don't want the paper to be covered up because the paper's pretty. But I did get what I was looking for here, which is, I'm going to take this. See how squishy that is? Let's see if I do this. Okay, let's take that. Let's pull some of this off on, let's pull it off on this roll-off sheet. Okay, there's that. Can I get more of this? I want a clean print underneath. I'm trying to pull off all that extra paint that's between, and it could be dry, so we'll find out. Okay, I'm getting there. All right, so now that we've got that, look at what we have. Let's lay this down and get some of this paint off. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, I don't want to put it on top of my other stuff yet because I'm still trying to learn. So this is probably what I'm doing right now is probably a good idea if you want to play around with this concept. Use the sheets, but also use other things so that you don't end up with the same. Look at this. Look at that. So I learned this concept of pulling and pulling and pulling from Kit Bell, who works mostly with tissue paper. And she keeps pulling until she gets a clean print. And then she's got something that she can put on top of a clean sheet. Very raggedy. But I'll just take it's very promising. Take another sheet. See if I can keep pulling. If the paint's too wet, it's not going to attach to what's on the plate. Okay, look how clean that is. All right, let's take that white thing. This is not really successful, so I'm going to lay this down. And see what happens by rolling this on. Not too shabby. Here, get this thing pulled. Hold on. Get this pulled on top of, what about this? It's nice and dark. This is the first time I have ever used my botanicals to do what I'm doing now. You know, to roll the paint out on something like I did with this. Yeah, that makes me kind of happy. Okay, let's see what happens here. See if this white paint is light enough. Looky. This is the one I want to play with now. Look how pretty that is. Thin, thin lines. I'm doing it. I'm going white. Let's put, look how that's lacing up when your plate's clean. Okay, I left that purposely raggedy. Let's see what happens. So I should try. I'm using my house paint. Maybe I should try, and I've said this before, but this is in a squirt bottle, and I like the squirt bottle. Maybe I should try Liquitex Basics, which is more opaque. I like it better. Especially I'm going to like it torn up. I like it that it doesn't go, see this straight line? If I hadn't done that. Okay, hold out this. This is called a, I can't remember what it's called. It'll come to me. It's used for, it was a makeup product. I want to put some more. I don't want it squishy though. So I'm making it squishy, and that's not what I want to do. Still getting it squishy because it's behind. But you get the basic idea. Whatever this thing is called, I'll put it in the description because I can't remember it right now. I learned this from Kerry the Crafter. I'm just putting a little bit of water. Maybe it'll loosen up it up enough so I'm not squishing it underneath. So much fun. very, very thin layer of paint. Nice. Okay, this is going to be much more fun torn up than with those, just the big flower in the front. Fun, 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 fun. All right, what else do I have? I can do that too. What about this one? This is fun. Okay. Yes, 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 yes. Look what I'm doing, guys. I'm almost 100% certain that this pack of stencils is in my Amazon store. Look at what it does. Subtle, subtle little things. Look at that. Okay. That has been salvaged into something that I like. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See what I'm doing, guys? Just layering stuff over this, and look at what you end up with. And whether it doesn't matter what stamp, it doesn't matter what stencil you're using, you end up with something more fun, more interesting. Let's do just a little bit of, let's break up this edge right here. Too much, too wet. So you don't want to push too hard. See, look. Okay, yeah. I had it too wet before. But now, these are fun. Okay, let's do this. Let's find another one. Probably that, or possibly that. I think these come in like a package of, who knows, a package of something. They're very generic. Probably made in China. Oh, soft. Pretty. Oh. Yep, these are not stuck together very well. Oh, pull up. Yeah, just do that, guys. Just pull it up right like, nope, nope, that's not, this is not solid enough to do what I'm doing because I cut the frame off of it because I don't like the frames. But this is all attached. Soft paint. And I haven't loaded it again, so it's giving me a very soft, pretty edge. Let's see what else I've got. Okay. What I'd like to try now, okay, what I want to go back to is gel printing. I want to use this dark sheet, and let me show you what I have here from near my house. We have the most interesting looking oak leaves. They've got all kinds of, they have character. They're like, I am not going to be like anybody else. I want to be my own self. I can relate. Let's put some silly little oak leaves down. Let's see what we get for shapes. Okay, white over this pretty dark purple. This dark purple, just so you know, was made with Tim Holtz Distress Oxide sprays, and I actually have a bottle of it out because I want to add it to my Amazon store. Because when you put it on watercolor paper or newsprint, it totally absorbs. You can get some beautiful mixed colors when you spray on top of them. They play well with each other. I should do a video of that because it's a lot of fun. Okay, we got... Oh, now you're talking. Okay, all right. This is what I have. These are masks. Masks reveal, you know, I call them windows, and the others are doors. The stencils are doors. I love this. Okay, I want to do more masks. Well, maybe I can do that. Hold on. Oh, I made it square. I'm going to put it right on top of this because it's got some fun patterns in the background. So much fun. Look at how stinking cute it is. So stinking cute. Masks. So somewhere in my chaos, I'm going to go off camera and find them, guys. I'll be back. Okay. I have unearthed these masks, which I have used in a video a good while, one of my earlier videos. Let me tell you how I made these. This is not all of them, but I want to show you, because I'm going to make a video on this, how to make these masks. So these masks were made with a glue gun. And I just laid them on a silicone sheet. Don't put it on anything that you care about because you'll never get the glue off. So I laid these masks on a silicone sheet. And in order to transfer the image onto cardstock, which you can buy at Staples or any other store, I used Distress Oxides, which is a spray. I'm going to have to dig them out. This is Tim Holtz Distress Oxides. I'm sure you could use anything else that will spray a color, but this is what I used. I laid them down on a piece of paper. I sprayed through them. Can I show you? Sure. Watch this. Let me get a color that's darker. This is what I did. I laid them down on a piece of cardstock. I removed this, and I ended up with that. I used a pair of really small scissors like these to cut them out, which left me with, so these were cut out on regular cardstock, and then every time I used them, they got coated with more paint until they became very, very easy to use. So I did the same thing with a whole bunch of different shapes. Sometimes they need to be touched up. I'll use like frog tape or painter's tape. These will last forever. If you treat them with respect, they will last forever. But you end up with something that looks like this, which all by itself is wicked pretty, and you end up with beautiful masks that look only like you, and the glue gun is hard to use, but that's what I've got. So I'm going to peel this back because I just cleaned off my plate. Look at that. You let it dry long enough, it'll pull up everything. Look at how cute that is. I'm saving it. I'm going to use this group of masks to cover some of these papers. Probably going to be that, possibly that. Okay, I'm going to do white paint because I like it. This is going to be a lot. Don't want to cover the whole entire thing. Okay, let's do it on top of this. I have to teach myself this stuff over and over again because I have no memory for what happens when I print. Okay, do I like it? It's busy for, I needed a darker. Let me try it Let me try the same thing on this, which is darker and will give me better contrast. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to fill this whole thing with things. These are all stuck together, even though I use those cheap number birthday candles to cover them. But let's do it. Let's take that and put that on top of this. Let's see what happens. I highly encourage you guys. It's nice to buy art supplies from places, stamps and stencils and masks and stuff. It's nice to buy them. If you don't want to make them, buy them. By all means, you get the benefit of working with some very talented artists' work, which is, I think you can learn from just by using it. But if you are inclined to make your own, very fun. If you're inclined to make your own, look at what you can do. These were all done the same way, cut out on cardstock, so they'll give similar results. These are very cheap. I bought some flowers at the dollar store, and you know those plastic flowers that they sell, fake flowers, and I cut them apart. I cut them out of their little stems, and I ended up with those cute little things. See, look at these cute things, guys. You can do this. Yeah, and that there. There you go. That'll do it. Right on top of this. So one of the things, all right, here's another thing that I can do. If this is something that's interesting to you, because it's a fair amount of work for me, but if you are not inclined to make your own masks, but you like mine, let me know in the comments, and I will make printable sheets of my masks that you will print on cardstock and cut out yourself, which is a little bit of work, but whatever, cut out yourself and end up with cute ass little masks like like those. Like, look how stinking cute that is. All right, I'm on to something here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do Payne's Gray on top of this. We'll see. We got those. We got this. And let's do those. These are hard to see. Anything else? Yeah, let's just stick that there. Okay, it's going on top of here. Well, look at. So I'm going to clean up, and I will be back, and then we'll take a tour of what we did. BRB. I've cleaned up. Everything's all shiny. I just want to go over what we did. So I started out, you saw me, but I'm going to go over it. These are just some papers that I ended up making using alphabet stencils. For some reason, even though this one has a big piece of paper stuck on it, I love this. I think this is, I love the contrast. I like how thick the white is. That makes me happy. This just feels like it's going to go back in, but it makes me happy. So if you'll remember, I used a combination of peach, white, and Payne's Gray to create these. This is definitely a go back in. Not awesome. This was where I laid the botanical down and rolled it out with my brayer, which gave me these very thin. Same thing. See what happened here when I laid it out on this? Look at these tiny little thin. That's just the paint transferring right off the botanical. And this is one of the masks that I sprayed with Distress Oxides, which I definitely want to do a video on those. Okay, so that's how I started. That's how I warmed up. So if you'll remember, I started out trying to use stencils. And stencils to my eye look like something on top of the artwork, which sometimes can be pretty, but it wasn't what I was going for. So there's the artwork with this thing sitting on top of it. What I really wanted was everything covered in these little windows. I don't know how to get that with stencils. But these are still interesting enough. So I think that when you bring them into your artwork, do this to your own. Like if you've got my sheets, do this to your sheets. And then now you've tamed them and they don't look like mine. They look like yours. This is Payne's Gray with some of my hand cut masks. So masks, this is what I was looking for. I wanted to show the pattern, cover up everything, but little glimpses of the pattern. I think that's successful. These are definitely more. Not so successful on this because of contrast and busyness, but pretty. This never got done. That was a ghost print pulled on and using these, I don't know what those brushes are called. It'll come to me. I like this one a lot. I think it's very fun. Same thing with this. These masks, though, these do it. These do it for me. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to reveal these fun shapes, which, and this is one that never got done. So I appreciate that you hung out with me while I did all this stuff because it was a lot of fun. So this pack of papers that I used was called Hot Color Collage Papers, CP008. And if you're looking to get similar little windows, check that out on my website. So much fun. So my name is Cherie Burlington. I'm an artist, an errant, an angel mom, and I'm going to try this to let you know that I'm going to put up 2 videos. One will link to a gel printing playlist, and another will link to a collage playlist. So if you're interested in either of those, pick the appropriate one, and you can go to those playlists and watch to your heart's content. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I look forward to seeing you, I don't know, soon. See ya. Bye.